Hi, welcome to this Nerd Bytes episode. My name is Daniel Fitzgerald. I'm a solution consultant working for New Relic, and today I'm going to show you how to set up an alert in New Relic from a PromQL query. PromQL is the Prometheus query language, and if you are familiar with using Prometheus, you might have taken a PromQL query and set up an alerting rule using the Alert Manager component. And I'm going to show you how you can do something very similar in New Relic. So I've done a couple of previous videos already. The first one I showed you how to send your Prometheus metrics to New Relic using a remote write configuration. And then in the second video, I showed you how you can actually visualize those metrics on a dashboard using either the Visual Explorer, NRQL, or more importantly, PromQL. And so this final part of this video is going to be, how do we actually alert on that? So I'm in a New Relic 1, I'm going to click on Query Your Data. And it's going to bring up the query builder. And it's showing me an NRQL prompt. But I want to actually enter in a PromQL style query. And we're going to be using the same use case that I had in the previous video about looking at the maximum number of open file descriptors for a process to detect if we're nearing the limit, which might cause our Prometheus server to crash. So again, we're going to look at the maximum number of open file descriptors for a process grouped by the job. I'm going to run that. And I'll set the time range to 30 minutes and run that again. And we can see this chart here where we can see the number of open file descriptors fluctuating around 20, 22, back to 20, 21. And I want to actually be alerted if it goes over 30, because that's the limit that we have on our system. If that number of open file descriptors is open, it's going to run out and it might crash. So how do we set up an alert for this? Well, New Relic allows you to alert on the result of a query using NRQL. So I have my PromQL query here, and I'm familiar with how I write PromQL, but I don't actually know what the corresponding New Relic query would be. But what we've got is the ability to instantly translate this PromQL query into a New Relic query. So I can literally just click here on the NRQL button, and that's going to show me actually the PromQL query that I had corresponding. So it looks like select max process open FDS from metric and a facet job. So I'm going to take this query and I'm going to come over now into alerts. And I already have a policy. That's where you store all of your different rules. So I'm going to click into my Prometheus monitoring policy. And I'm going to create a condition being like a rule. And I can choose from different types of rules, but the one I'm interested in is a New Relic query language rule. Okay, so now I can enter in my query. First thing to do actually is to give it a name. So Prometheus is almost running out of file descriptors. So that is a real nice descriptive explanation. Now I can just have to trim off a few parts here. I want to get rid of that since, and I want to get rid of the limit and time series keywords. And here we can see that our numbers here again, roughly around 20, and I want to set a threshold now. So here I can say it's going to be a static type threshold when the query returns a value above 30. So now we can see that our threshold has gone up. And we want to say at least once in 2 minutes. Great. So now that is going to alert us if the open file descriptors goes above 30 at least once in 2 minutes. And I can even add a runbook here as well. So if this alert goes off and someone in the team picks it up, I can put in my runbook here, which explains exactly what they need to do to go and fix the issue, which is increase the number of file descriptors available. Excellent. So I can save my condition and then that will be active now. So what I've just done is shown you how we've gone from having a PromQL query, translating that into the New Relic query, and then actually setting up an alert condition off of that, which will alert me if that metric violates a certain threshold. I hope you found that was helpful. Thank you again for watching.